What is Nintendo's next big game? Now, big game is kind of subjective for some people. I mean, it's hard to really quantify what makes a big game a big game. Is a big game considered only something like Mario, Zelda, or Pokemon? Or can any other series fit into that category? Well, I think if we just check the sales of some of these games, it can become quite evident. I mean, just look at the Switch 1 sales. I mean, you have games over 30, 40 million copies sold. It's pretty insane. And the Switch 1 was really just a lightning in the bottle console. I don't know if we'll ever see numbers like this ever again. But if we go through the majority of the best-selling Switch 1 games, you can clearly tell which ones are considered Nintendo's big releases. They are, in fact, your Marios, your Zeldas, and your Animal Crossings, your Pokemons, even spin-offs like Luigi's Mansion, mainline Kirby and Splatoon, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. All these can be considered here. Pretty much I'd say 6 to 7 million is normally looked at as a pretty big game for Nintendo. And they've had 31 games on Switch 1 that has gotten over 6 million in sales. That's mostly first party, but there's a couple third party like Minecraft is up there. Now here's a list of all the best selling Switch 2 games so far. These are all the games that got over 1 million in sales. There's not too many games right now. In fact, there's only 6 that are listed in this chart as getting over 1 million so far. And that is, of course, Mario Kart World sitting at a whopping 14 million and nothing even coming close besides Donkey Kong Bonanza and Pokemon. So if you want to be technical about what games the Switch 2 has that has been considered maybe a massive title that's brought in tons of sales, maybe Donkey Kong is going to be on the cusp of that. But besides that, there really hasn't been anything else. Nintendo's had a lot of releases this year, and a lot of them are pretty good, but none of them so far, in my opinion, has hit that big game status. I know it's been kind of a meme right now for Nintendo fans and myself included saying we really need a big game right now, but I mean there's just something really fun about looking forward to Nintendo's really big next AAA project. Like it doesn't take a mastermind to say it's not going to be Mario Tennis Fever, it's not going to be Splatoon Raiders, a spin-off of mainline Splatoon, it's not going to be the third remake of Star Fox 64, and it probably won't be Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I think it'll be a big one, but you know, Fire Emblem's still considered more niche than most of Nintendo's more popular franchises still. It's getting there, but it's still, you know, nothing that's going to get probably over 4 million in sales. And as we look at the rest of the year, there's only 2 more games that really have an opportunity to be this, and I think one of them is 100% going to be it with Ocarina of Time's remake. Even though it's a remake, it is still a big game for a lot of us. I mean, especially if Nintendo goes full out ambitious with this game, it's going to be huge. And the other one being Switch Sports Resort. This might not come off as a major title for a lot of people, but it's going to be, because it's Switch Sports. Anything with the Nintendo Sports series is normally going to do well for casual audiences. I mean, if you just look at Nintendo Switch Sports on the Switch 1, it's like the top 11 best-selling Switch games. It's at like 18 million. But it's kind of strange to say since Mario Kart World, our next 2 huge games to compete against it is Nintendo Switch Sports Resort and a second remake of Ocarina of Time. So we'll probably have to wait for a September Direct at the earliest to see and hear about what Nintendo's cooking up next for their next big titles. But what makes this so awesome so far is, yeah, the Switch 2 hasn't had some of their heavy-hitting franchises yet, and they're already going to be about 1.5 years into this thing by the time of the beginning of next year. But that's also exciting because they haven't hit almost 90% of their major franchises yet. I mean, think about it. Pretty much just Mario Kart, and 3D Donkey Kong was really a surprise. That wasn't something that any of us were really expecting in this generation, let alone getting a 3D Donkey Kong a month after the new console released. So there's still so much potential for 2027 and beyond. This October, it'll be 9 years since Super Mario Odyssey. I've stressed this enough, but I'm going to continue to stress it because it's 9 years, almost a decade. Something else I didn't even realize is for the people that do scream that Bowser's Fury was our last 3D Mario. Did you know in February of 2027, 6 years since the short Bowser's Fury even? So like that's insane to me. It doesn't even make sense in my mind. 6 years since Bowser's Fury? Now there are very reliable rumors from Nate the Hate that suggest 3D Mario is in fact coming next year, so we could see that very soon, which is undoubtedly going to be a massive and probably one of the top 5 biggest games for Switch 2 when this is all said and done. So we can definitely look forward to 3D Mario here soon. I know it's been a while, just hang in there a bit longer. Let's throw in Super Mario Maker. It's been over 7 years since Mario Maker 2, which sold very well, over 8 million on Switch 2, which I would consider a major title. But yeah, when is Mario Maker 3? I don't think it's going to be next year. If 3D Mario is in fact happening, we might have to wait a bit longer, like another 2 years, but I still think this game is on the horizon and it's coming. Especially since we just got Mario Wonder and a Switch 2 edition of that game, I think this is going to be our next 2D Mario after the 3D one. It's also been about 7 years since Luigi's Mansion 3, and a game that sold a whopping 14 million in sales. I think that kind of surprised all of us. I always knew Luigi's Mansion was worthy of that, but man, it's so good and feels so rewarding to actually see those numbers. 14 million for something like Luigi's Mansion. I'd be so shocked if this game wasn't almost, if not already, ready to go. Could they squeeze something like this in for 2027 with a 3D Mario? I know I'd probably fall out my seat and cry, because it would be probably even better for me than a Zelda Mario combo. Having a Luigi's Mansion 3D Mario combo would just, oh my gosh, I'd be in heaven. Kirby was right on the edge with Forgotten Land, being 7.5 million in sales, so man, it's even crazy to think of Kirby as one of Nintendo's major hits now, something that everyone's waiting for. To me, it's always been, you know what I mean? But not for everybody out there, and I think ever since they went 3D, it really has just shown that Kirby can compete up there with even the best of the best, and I think we're getting close. It may not be time for the next 3D Kirby yet, but we're getting there. For instance, next year, in the beginning of next year, in March to be specific, it'll be around 5 years since Kirby and the Forgotten Land released. Now, we have no clue how long it's going to take HAL Labs to develop another 3D Kirby game. We don't know what their timeline is looking like. Are they going to be around a 5 to 6 year norm? Or are they going to be something like 3D Mario, pushing 7, 8, maybe even 9 years? Which I hope that's not the case for Kirby. I don't think Kirby needs anything like that. Just another fun linear 3D adventure would be perfectly fine with me. Now, it's only been 4 years since Splatoon 3, and obviously Raiders is here to tie us over until this next mainline Splatoon, which I do feel like is going to be a fresh start for the series after we've just got done with our trilogy. I am very excited for this game, and I think there could be a lot of new changes and quality of life things, especially with new hardware, with better frame rates and better graphics. This new Splatoon is probably going to look insane. But when do we get it? I mean, it's only been about 4 years. It still could be a little while until we see this, especially with Raiders coming this year. But yeah, it is a big online multiplayer game that works really well for Nintendo right now. They don't have too many of those, but I still think they need to actually take their time with this game. Splatoon 3, in my opinion, felt a little rushed. I mean, all the games in their own right feel a little rushed, but Splatoon 3 felt like it took a step back from what they did in Splatoon 2. I feel like the Octo expansion we got in 2 was better than the story mode in 3. I feel like the maps in 3 are really bad. Lots of straight line corridors. Also very bland Splatfest and themes compared to what we got in 2. If you already couldn't tell, I think Splatoon 2 is possibly the best in the trilogy. So yes, Splatoon 4 is on the way, but we're gonna have to wait a little while longer, which I think is completely necessary. The one I think Nintendo really needs to lock in with is Smash Brothers. They really need to get some plans set as to when this thing is going to drop. And of course, it probably all falls into Sakurai's hands and his team. When is Sakurai going to reveal this thing, and when is this thing ready? This December will be 8 years since Smash Ultimate. It is an old game at this point, which just sounds insane to say. It's time for the next Smash Brothers game. A lot of people are really hoping it's a soft reboot of the franchise, breaking down the roster and fixing it up some, while also giving us some fun side modes like another story mode like Subspace from Smash Brawl. But yeah, whatever it is, I think it's about time Nintendo to reveal this thing soon. This is the thing that brings in everybody in the world to get a new console, including casuals, competitive gamers, longtime veterans. Everybody loves Smash Brothers, and it's what generates so much hype for upcoming Nintendo Directs, for character reveals, and all kinds of stuff. You can always look forward to new Smash information until it comes out in every show. And this is something that Nintendo needed to bring back for that hype level, and yes, this is a massive game for them, undoubtedly. But I still wonder, with the recent release of Sakurai's dream game, Kirby Air Riders, last year, is this game even close to being done still? Or is it still going to be a couple of years until we see it? with a brand new console, Nintendo should really prioritize getting this game out within the first couple of years. So it will be kind of sad to see if this game still isn't out by summer of next year, which I don't think it will be. It could make the end of the year, potentially. We talked about how a year with Luigi's Mansion and 3D Mario would be so insane, but could you imagine a year with 3D Mario, a brand new gen of Pokemon, and Smash Brothers? I don't know, man. To me, that might even beat 2017. And we still haven't talked about the game that's in the number 2 spot for the best-selling Switch 1 games. Of course, we're not passing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is dang near 70+ million. Crazy. But right behind it in second place, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons at almost 50 million. It's insane. Now, of course, that number is inflated thanks to the time period this game came out. It was just like a perfect recipe for a release. You had this quarantine going on around the world, everyone's staying in, and it's the perfect time to play something like Animal Crossing. So, will the next game ever exceed or come close to those numbers? Probably not, but this is undoubtedly a huge series for Nintendo. As someone that's still not a big fan of Animal Crossing, even I can recognize, yeah, it might be time for Nintendo to start talking about when they're actually going to release or reveal this next Animal Crossing, because man, this is clearly how you get consoles sold. The beginning of next year will mark 7 years since Animal Crossing New Horizons, so I think it's closer than a lot of people think. Unfortunately, we do have something like Pokemon Pokopia and tons of DLC coming out for it for the rest of the year, and I think even next year, so maybe that's actually going to be replacing Animal Crossing for a while. In fact, I actually had more fun with Pokopia, so, I mean, it might be a good thing. Go play Pokopia, it's actually pretty good. As someone who doesn't even like live sim games, I'm saying it's pretty good. Now, it's really up in the air for which one of these games is next. I mean, if we just look at what's confirmed for next year already, we have Xenoblade Genesis, which I think is in the same boat as Fire Emblem, maybe even a little less. Xenoblade 2 didn't even manage to reach 2 million yet, so it's not a game right now that's reaching everybody, but I like how Nintendo is still pushing this thing to get it to be more popular, so maybe this next game is a lot different. And of course, we have Pokemon Wind and Waves, which is probably going to be around the holiday season, which means, yeah, you can actually mark that in right now as being probably the best-selling Switch 2 game so far. I think it's going to even beat out Mario Kart World. I'm not joking. Especially if they have Pokemon-themed Switch 2 consoles or bundles around the holiday, like everyone's going to be flying out of their houses to buy this console specifically for this game. But assuming that is going to be the end of the year around November like it normally is, that means Nintendo has the whole beginning and middle of next year to show us what their next big titles are going to be. So in my opinion, that comes down to the September Nintendo Direct. I know the last 2 shows have been a little lackluster for a lot of us, not revealing too much exciting things. Does Nintendo do it a third time and give us yet again another lackluster General Nintendo Direct, or does this September Direct deliver on all fronts? It's hard to say right now what Nintendo's even going to do. Will they even have a General Direct? I kind of feel like they have to. There's really nothing planned for the beginning or middle of next year outside of Xenoblade Genesis, and like I said, if Pokemon's at the end of the year, they definitely have to announce some stuff. But I feel like we still are right about to enter some exciting things. It's just a matter of time until Nintendo decides to show us these things. But let me know what you think down below. Are you as optimistic as me, or are you losing hope and saying, oh no, maybe Nintendo's not going to do anything big for a while? I think they're getting ready to generate something huge here. Absolutely. It's just going to take a little bit more patience after already having a lot of patience with them this generation. But things are about to change. I can already feel the floodgates getting ready to open right after Splatoon Raiders. But let me know what you think down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. We are so close to reaching our goal of 400,000 subscribers. Like, we are so close. You guys can literally make that happen today by leaving a like and subscribing. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Have a blessed day, guys. See ya.